We're rolling already? I wasn't ready, I'm doing great. Gideon, it's nice to meet you. It's been a full, busy day, that's for sure. This huge PR week. I think I've got 30 or more pieces this run. So by the end of this week, I may be spinning a bit, but I'm okay now.
Good, good. I can feel that you're still doing it.
All right.
Fred, I understand you discovered the power of music at a very young age. How did you interpret music at that time?
The I mean, you never know how music is going to affect you. You know, whether you have the ability to imitate or to even be aware deeply of the sounds around you. I think when I sort of do some analyzing of what music is and how it does affect how it affected me, it starts with a heartbeat. You know, you feel that pulse inside of your body that keeps you going, and you're aware of that pulsing that happens, and then the music around you, those pulses, external pulses start coming in, and your ears connect to them, and you know those hammers and stirrups are bouncing back and forth. My parents loved classical music, loved opera music, loved the old swing music from the 40s, the Benny Goodman, I know the Dorsey brothers, big band stuff. My older brother and sister, they loved the early rock and roll, you know, the beginnings of boy bands back then. So I had this huge eclectic range of stuff that was around me. And fortunately, I had a really good ear for music, and I would hear something and I would immediately start trying to find harmonic levels within it. It wasn't just the melody, you know, and especially if the melody was too high for me in some cases, then I would find a harmony, just instinctively go to another note that I knew fit. So I was pretty blessed with at least having a good ear, and golly, you know, the range of music that is available for the human ear is vast, and I relish it all.
What sort of music did you grow up on?
Um, well, there were no entertainers for children at that point. I mean, we're talking the early 1950s, way back. So the music that happened in schools were a lot of British and Scottish and folk tunes from North America. Songs that we would do in early choirs. You know, grade 3, I was in my first choir, and we did some East Coast tunes from, but they were Canadian folk songs were part of it. And then, I mean, that was the music that I was being given to sing in the choirs. So I gravitated to it. I loved the sound of choral music, of participating in a group sound. I mean, as years went by, as I moved into my teen years, certainly the Beatles, you know, Gordon Lightfoot, Joni Mitchell, those Cat Stevens, the sounds of the '60s were totally inside of me, and I started playing guitar when I was 15 and learning the chords, and you know, it just builds inside of you. You develop your repertoire.
What is your favorite sandwich? If I may be so bold.
My favorite, it depends when you would, I mean, you're asking me now, but in my lifetime, earlier in my days, like a good soggy piece of white bread with honey and peanut butter, that was, and some cinnamon. That would have been the sandwich. It's evolved over the time to you know, a nice roasted vegetable thing on a ciabatta bun or something, or or a good hearty piece of pumpernickel with some meats on it. I like a turkey and Havarti with tomato and lettuce. I'm a pretty eclectic guy, and as I am in my musical tastes, I like lots of sandwiches, so I can't narrow it down to one. Sorry.
That's fair. You have a new album out this month,
Yes, I do.
and you had some great collaborators on it, including your children.
Yeah, all my children.
All of your
Yeah, all 4 kids sang backup.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was the process of recording this album different from your others?
Uh, I hadn't done this kind of an album for a while. This is a true studio album. We went in, did bed tracking. Ken Whiteley, iconic Ken Whiteley, produced the album. We had a couple of bass players for different tracks. Gary Craig, who was Bruce Coburn's drummer, was the percussion. Uh, I did rhythm guitar, some lead stuff. Ken, provided a good foundation for it, and we did the bed tracking at Canterbury Studios over on, well, just around the corner from here. Great, beautiful, big studio. So we built the songs from the ground up. You get your bed tracks, then you start layering, and you bring in the sounds that you want to make it the feel that you want, and then the artists to sing with me on those things. It was, well, here's the feel of this song. Who out of this great roster of humanity, of Fred heads who are now, getting into their own world, who would fit? Yeah, and Ron Sexsmith and I had made we connections over the years, but we had a particularly wonderful evening about a year ago where we sat and consumed a couple of bottles of red wine and sang songs till 2 in the morning, and it was a bonding time for Ron and I, and so it was clear that I would love for him to be part of it, and so there were two songs, "This Is My World" and "River Will Bend," which are more folk, gentler songs, but they fit his voice, and so that happened. And Tara Lightfoot, finding something a little more driving with her. The Good Lovelies came in. That one, I wrote a Spanish tune called La Vida years ago, and my friend Alex Cuba, who I've known for about a few years now. We've played many festivals together and have formed a bond. And I asked him to be part of it, and he was delighted. So you find the song, you go to the artist. Do you like this? Would you be part of this? No question. And so they would either be in Toronto, or in some cases, like with Basha Bulat, she was in Banff when the recording was happening. So we digitally sent her the tracks into a studio. She added, for two songs, "Catcher of the Dreams." She did her what instrument is that? The pianetta, almost like a zither, beautiful stringed instrument, and she sang harmonies on the La Vida song with Alex Cuba, and that. Anyway, they all just gave their all to it. And Afi from Bahamas, he came in and did two tracks, and so these people who. Oh, they really were. They're fabulous players, and I have such admiration for their talents and where they're going, and coming into the studio with me and sharing their love and joy of making music. It was fabulous. It was.
What inspires you to write music at this time?
This is the best gig in the world. Are you kidding? 40 to be able to say that I have made my living as a performer, a musician, an actor, all of the ramifications of being on stage for 45 years is unbelievable. I never thought it would go as long as it did, and I've always just done what appealed to me, what felt good in my soul and spirit, knowing that it had value with the audience. The whole phrase of, never underestimate your ability to make a difference in the life of a child, of another human being, through your talent. I mean, that flowing of energy from me to an audience, and it comes back. That's where the turn happens, is when the audience connects with it, and they stop me at a Loblaws on Lansdowne and say, I really love your music. You really made a difference to me. I'm a musician because of you. I went into forestry because of you. So they start feeding me their emotion because they felt something powerful from me. So then it's okay. Well, there's still relevance then. If I didn't feel that part of at least my music or my energy or my humanity, or if there wasn't some angle of me as Fred the man, Fred the person, that I was bringing forward to the audience, then it would be well, then there's no point. Then shut it down and go find a a grape plantation on Vancouver Island to to play with. I don't know.
Excellent.
Things would change.
Absolutely. I hear you're going to honor us with an acoustic performance.
I can do that.
Ready to go whenever you are.
Okay. So this tune, I at one point was gonna be the title track of the album. It's called Stumble, because as I look at this world and where people are sort of, everybody's stumbling one way or another. It was sort of poetic in my mind that we are all going through this journey and trying to figure out where we're going and how this fits, and inevitably, the stumble comes along and you pick yourself up and you get on with it. But anyway, the Stumble tune came along. Here we are, side by side. Hold on tight, 'cause it's a bumpy ride. I don't know where the path will end. I won't be on this road again. It may twist, it may turn. If I don't listen, then I don't learn. Signs are there in front of me, plain as day for all to see. Doing my best as I stumble on the road of life. Doing my best as I stumble on the road of life. I'll take your hand, you take mine. We'll walk together to the end of time, through the sunshine, through the rain, until we get back home again. Doing my best as I stumble on the road of life. Doing my best as I stumble on the road of life. This is how the story goes. We help each other through the highs and lows. Lessons learned, stories told, searching for a pot of gold. Doing my best as I stumble on the road of life. Doing my best as I stumble on the road of life. Here we are, side by side. Hold on tight, 'cause it's a bumpy ride. I don't know where the path will end. I won't be on this road again. Stumble.